I'd like to share a couple thoughts with you before I close. So this past week, I've been doing a lot of reflection and reading of scripture and other spiritual books. And I noticed one theme that kept coming up over and over again for me was remembering. And so I started to do that. I started to think back in my life, especially the last 10 and a half years that I've been here. How many remember when we used to have Mass up at the theater in the high school? Oh, a few, okay, that's good. That's good. The rest of you, you're going to find out about, no. That's okay. But those were trying times, but yet it was part of our life. Remember that, especially the Knights of Columbus, they had to pack all the stuff from the storage down on Rancho, chuck it up there to the theater, put it all out for Mass. Then Sunday afternoon, pack it all up, bring it back down. And they did that for 10 years. A lot of stuff went on behind the scenes that many of us don't remember. But that was part of coming. And then when I came 10 and a half years ago, I started asking people that were coming to the theater to, as they passed Centennial here and saw the property, the only thing that said that there was going to be a church here was a sign, remember? Church, Future Church of St. Anthony of Padua. So I asked you as you were passing by to make the sign of the cross. Why? Because this is sacred ground and there's a church there. You can't see it yet. Ha, you see it now. This was something that St. John Paul II used to use when he was Archbishop of Krakow. The communists would not allow them to have processions or anything of any religious sorts. So he used to take a big, huge frame of a picture, and he would cut the picture of the Madonna out, and then they would walk around singing through the town. No, the communists couldn't do anything, but the people knew that that was Mary. And so we knew that the church was here, and then we had to sacrifice to build this church, and all of you did. Last year, we had our CSA, remember? We've been asking you to give into it, the Catholic Stewardship Appeal. All of us, we have to participate because it is our part of a bishop's budget, and that all has to be paid for whatever he has to deal with the poor and the Catholic Charities and others poor institutes. So our part was $162,000. And so Father Jim started it off early on in January. I came back in August and asked if those who've forgotten about it could kick in. Well, here we thought, the finance committee, we thought that maybe we were going to have to put in between $10,000 and $20,000 because it had to be paid. And we got the estimate, the statement, the last statement for last year 2 weeks ago. And not only did we make the $162,000, but we get a rebate back of $10,000. We went over. So that money comes back to us. And it's because of all of you, because of your sacrificing. And it's part of us. And then about 2015, 2016, as we were opening the church, this part of the building, and then 2 years ago we finished the last parts, the extensions. And about 2015 or beginning of 2016, I started developing some problems with my brain. And so I had to go to UCLA. Do you remember those days I had to go? And I still have problems with equilibrium. When we were doing the service right now for the catechumens and candidates, you know, I was just simple standing down there, and I could hardly stand up, and my eyes were fixed on Ivan. So if I fell over, I'd fall on him. But I knew I'd be safe. So anyways, and then last month, I developed COVID. I went 2.5 years, but all the people that were in our parish that developed COVID, who had died, who suffered very much and got better, they're still suffering with it, and I'm still suffering with it. So I have, I have tremors, right? And so it's genetic. My mother had tremors. My second oldest sister had it, and I found out just lately from my sister-in-law that my brother had it also. And so when having COVID, I developed, it kind of hit my nervous system more, and my hands are going all over the place. So that's an issue. And then again with many a times I have to use my new little friend over here, Henry, my cane, to stand up straight, so I'm having more difficulty standing up. And then my eyes I'm having issues. Don't get old, that's the main issue of the whole thing. But now I had to make some serious decisions for the future. So I spoke with my doctor, and he said, you have to give up stress. I said, I only have 4,200 families to deal with. What's that? So I said, well, maybe during the summer I can do that. He said, no, it won't. You need to get rid of the stress now. And so I had a long talk with my spiritual director, and then I made my way down and I talked to Bishop, and I'm going to retire. So this is my last Mass. My last Mass. I have Mass tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, weekday, and I have a Mass Tuesday night. But effective midnight, January 31st, I'm retired. I was going to say Bishop Cam. Father Cam, Bishop has made Father Cam administrator. So February 1st, he will become the administrator of St. Anthony's. And so he's a good man. I've taught him everything I know. He knew it before. There have been a lot of ups and downs in the last 10 and a half years, but my philosophy has always been with an open door policy in the office. So if you had a problem, you could come in. As we grew bigger and bigger, you had to make appointments to come in, but I tried to meet with everybody who had an issue. And sometimes the only thing that we could agree on is that we disagreed, but at least I heard you out and you heard me out. So those were times, but most of the times it's been great for all of us. It's been sacrifice, but we kept Jesus Christ in the middle of it and our Blessed Mother, and it's been wonderful. I'd like to close with this quote from St. Paul in the Philippians, chapter 1, verse 3. Whenever I think of you, I give thanks to my God. Whenever I pray, I make my request for all of you with joy. For you have been my partners in spreading the goodness of Jesus Christ. We have been doing it together. I will be praying for all of you. I ask that you pray for me, and may we meet again. God bless you.
Good evening, my friends in Christ. You know, for us priests, I don't know how it feels for those who are not, but when you get to your office in the morning and you begin to work, and the bishop secretary calls you, and he says, "Is that Father Cam?" I said, "Yes." "The bishop would like to see you." "Who?" "When?" "3:30 today." "What? Did I do anything wrong?" And he said, "I have no idea. He just asked me to call you." Friends, I tell you, my BP went so high, I started thinking, did I say anything wrong to anybody? Did Father Bob report me to the bishop? What's happening? And I drove to the office. The bishop looked at me and said, "Were you nervous when my secretary called you?" I said, "Bishop, are you just asking? Nervousness is a small word." I was shaking. He said to me, "Anyway, we're sorry, but we have to communicate this to you. We have decided to appoint you the administrator of St. Anthony of Padua." I said, "Thank you. Thank you." I said, "What about Father Bob?" He said he just left my office. And I remember that was on Wednesday because that was his off day. So he never told me he was coming to your office. Bishop said he doesn't have to tell you everything. Then I said, what did he say about it? He said he actually recommended you. He is very positive about you. I said, wow. He said, yes. He said he recommended you, and some of your parishioners also have spoken so well of you. And if your pastor recommends you and your parishioners have confidence in you, why should I not have confidence on you? That is why we decided you should go ahead. I said, to be honest, it was a pleasant surprise. It was a big surprise. And I said to him, anyway, if Father Bob says so, and if you say so, I will try my best. You know, Father Bob's resignation for me is very personally, very emotional. Because, we all see him here, but I live with him. He is a good man. You know, for these 2 years I've been with him, he's been not just a mentor, but a friend. The very first day I met him, he removed all my fears, made me feel at home. There was no single day I was tensed in that house. So in a way, just like he said, when I look back, it was as if he was consciously preparing me for this day. Because he told me everything. He is an open book. The way you see him is the way he is. There is nothing hidden. Father Bob is someone who loves this work. He loves this parish with his heart. I could see the struggles he goes through every day in the house. The spirit is willing, but the body is weak. Tries everything he can. So eventually when I got back from the bishop's office and we spoke, and he told me, yes, he personally decided because he felt for the good of the parish and for his own health, he needed to take time out. But he was very happy that Bishop listened to him, and I'm the one leading at this moment. So, brothers and sisters, for 10.5 years, he has been a pastor of this parish. Actually, he is the founding pastor, for those who do not know. We've had administrators in the past, but he is the founding pastor, the first official pastor of this parish. And he took over this place when there was nothing. You know, now I'm even happy. I'm talking to a group. There is a structure. There is a church. When he came, there was nothing like that. And he was able to make sure, and not just the structure. For those of us who are priests, you know the kind of spiritual package he has made in this parish. This is one of the best we have in this diocese. And I can say it anywhere. The kind of spirituality he has built. Adherence to doctrine, being obedience to the laws of the church that we have here. This is one of the best. So we have in him a man who is leaving a great legacy behind. And so when I look back, this is a very big shoe. I can't even imagine fitting into it. And I told him, I'm going to pray that God keeps you alive for so many years because I will need you here. And the goodwill of all of you, of course, will also help us to move the parish forward. So, when somebody has done so much work, poured his life into the work, from where I come from, my own culture, and of course I've seen it's also an American culture, we appreciate such people. We say thank you to them. We cannot pay him for everything he did. And of course he did them not expecting payment. But it is only necessary that we get together as a parish and say, we appreciate you, we love you, we thank you. And that is why our guardian angel, can you put on that slide again so we can look at it? We have had a meeting with the staff, and we have agreed to have a very grand farewell mass for Father Bob on the 18th of February. The mass will be at 9 o'clock. So please, I'm appealing. Mark your calendar. I am anticipating this whole parish to be filled with all our parishioners, and invite your friends. Even those who are not parishioners here, invite them. We have extensions. I want everybody to come here. I want him to feel that we celebrate him. So please mark that date. We will begin with mass at 9 o'clock, and from 10 o'clock we have open house party. We want the day to be joyful. So please be here. In addition to that, because of course you know, when it is retirement, the package of course goes, you don't get what you get when you are actively working. And with his health, He needs a lot of help. So we have placed a box there, and there are so many cards there that we are asking you as you leave this church, please pick a card and write whatever comes from your heart to him and put whatever the Lord has touched you to put for him. You can drop it in that box within the week. It's going to be here from now to the 18th, or you can bring it on the day of celebration. All we want is for him to have a sense that this parish loves him, and this is a home he can always come back to. So please, I beg you, let us try together to come together to celebrate a man who has poured his life for this parish. Are we going to be here on the 18th? Yes. That is a commitment, and I'm holding you to it. So please, I'm looking forward to see you again. Once again, Father Bob, thank you so very much. And thank you, my brothers and sisters. I have no doubt we are going to move stronger, united in faith. Thank you, and God bless you all.